Good evening. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Just arranging myself. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Inbal. I'm a psychic, tarot reader, and witch. And I am broadcasting at you live right here on the Bigfoot Outlaw Network. I am in the UK. Where's everybody else from? Where's everybody else watching from? I'm just back from holiday. So I was in Florida all of last week. A big change of pace for me. It was just a vacation visit, not a work visit, but I did do quite a lot of email work. My full-time job is doing psychic readings, tarot readings. This has been my full-time job for the last 25 years. So if we haven't met yet, hi, this is what I do. Mostly you will catch me with a deck of tarot in hand. I do a lot of work for the papers. So for the last 24 hours, I had some words in Glamour magazine talking about the planet Venus and the planet Mercury. Daily Star doing some predictions for Michelle Keegan, who is a big star here in the UK, and her newborn baby. And I've got some words coming out tomorrow in the Daily Express about, it's hard to keep everybody involved. It's something about astrology and I can't remember who it's about. So if it's about you, I'm so sorry that I forgot you. So this is who I am. This is what I do. This channel is an esoteric channel, an international esoteric channel based in the US. We've got psychics from all over, and this show is just one of many on the channel. We've got healers, we've got astrologers, we've got cryptids, Bigfoot, and UFOs, ghost hunts. So a little bit of everything. If you're not subscribed yet, then make sure you go to the Bigfoot Outlaw YouTube channel, which is our main channel. If you're watching live, hiya, you're able to message me and I'll flash out the messages on the screen as we go. If you're watching us on any kind of podcasting platform a little bit later on, make sure you pop onto our Bigfoot Outlaw YouTube channel, or you can do it from my channel, but then you'll only get my shows. Bigfoot Outlaw YouTube channel, and then you will not miss a broadcast. Before we start, I'm going to share who is here and what we're all doing. So first of all, we've got the message from Grizzly Chris, who runs the channel, and he says, you can support me by sending stars. Stars help me earn money to make more content. As long as you know. Mark, my good friend Mark, says, good evening, Inbal. Hope you had a lovely holiday and welcome back. Hello, everyone else. Welcome to hit that like button so you know when everyone from this network is on. Absolutely. Like, subscribe, everything else. Michelle says, hi, driving and listening. Hi, Michelle. Great to be there with you in the car. And Crystal says, hello, beautiful souls. Love, love, love to you, Inbal. Love, 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 Crystal. Shall we tell them what you did for me when I was on holiday? Roger says, howdy from Eastern Kentucky. Great to hear from you, Roger. And Crystal laughs because she spelled my name wrong. Literally, so many people did not even realize they did it. Shian Pritchett is saying, hello, 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 Shian. And she is in Iowa in the US. How incredible. Mark is letting me know, bless, saying that the internet is glitching every now and then, just so you know, just so I know. I think that while I broadcast to you live, the system also records the the broadcasts, basically from here, from my camera. So the final version of it, if you're watching it later on, the final version should hopefully be totally stable. Maud says, hello, hi, Maud. Oh, and Lucianne, you made it late night, saying, hello, lovely lady. Mwah. Hello, my light bringer. Rob says, hello, hello. Mark is excited to see Rob, and for good reason. Rob greeting everyone. Evening, absolutely. Oh, okay, this is actually Crystal's permission to tell you what she did. So we were going to Florida for the first time. Never been to America before. And Crystal, I don't want to reveal exactly where you are, but is just a bit of a state away. And there was meant to be storms. And the whole time that we were there, the weather was ideal because Crystal is a weather witch. And Crystal did her spells and manifesting to make sure that the weather cleared to a different part. So if you got a lot of rain, say in Atlanta, to a different part of the region so that we can go on the beach every day. And it was just so stark because we had the best weather the whole time we were there, like a full week. And then one day we drove to, I don't want to sort of plug any names, so like a shopping region. So if it had rained, we would have been able to hide somewhere because, when you're on the beach, there's nowhere to hide if the weather is bad. So we're in a shopping region, and on the way there was a long drive. And I said to my husband, I'd love it if we saw like one crazy storm, one crocodile, one Florida man. And indeed, when we were in the shopping area, we did see a crazy storm from the safety of a chicken shop. So the weather not only proved to be glorious, thanks to Crystal, but also when we did wish for just like an hour of crazy rain, we got exactly that. We got like an hour of crazy rain when we were eating our chicken, or I'm vegetarian, eating my chips, and looking out the window, and people were running around with like their ponchos. And then by the time we were leaving, the weather had already cleared. And then when we were driving to the airport to leave, it got a little overcast. We got into the airport and it was pouring outside. It was bonkers. So me and Chris are all messaging for a big portion of the time that we're there. And I hold her entirely responsible for that. And when you think, well, that's really like unlikely. It's unlikely. How can a person control the weather? I want to say, how can a person not control the weather? I tend to say, and don't think I'm weird for it, but I tend to say that weather magic is actually one of the easiest spells. No disrespect to, to crystals. But when you want to do magic for specific achievements, if you want to manifest, for example, a lottery win, for example, a job offer, but that specific lottery win or that specific job offer are actually intended for somebody else, then whatever spell you do, it'll either not work or it'll work and it'll backfire because you're messing with that person's free will and with your own, path in life. However, when you do weather magic, you could have the weather that you asked for, because weather is like, first of all, so unpredictable, but also it can be so localized that you could have exactly the weather that you wanted. And down the road, Sheila doing her own weather magic could have the weather that she had wanted. So I think weather magic is one of the easiest ways to practice. And I always tell this story, and I'm sure I've told it on the show before, but we used to meet, like we, the Witches of London, At the time, members of the Witches and Wiccans of London Yahoo group. It was. If any of you is under 30, apologies, I can't explain to you exactly what that was. But we used to meet in Richmond Park once a year, as close as possible to the summer solstice. And if you know England, you know that it can rain during the summer solstice. It can rain at any time. It's more likely to rain than literally any other weather result. And our summer solstice picnic in Richmond Park was always glorious. It was always roasting. And I really believe that it's because it was all the witches getting together, everybody doing their little bit of weather magic, and it all joined together. Sheann switched from YouTube to YouTube from Facebook. Hello again. Hello. Whatever way you get in touch, I think the messages get through to me, all except for Instagram, where the messages do not get to me. But I just checked my Instagram and I'm not 100% sure that I'm even on. I can see it looks like I'm streaming to Instagram, but when I'm checking my Instagram, I don't feel like I'm live. The screen doesn't look right, so I don't even know if you're hearing me there. Rob says, guys, we have breaking news from Robert. Guys, did everyone know Doritos have vinegar flavor? They are so good, but strong and mouth burning. Love them. You're all welcome for this random tidbit. I'd love for you to guess what star sign Rob is, just based on this bit of breaking news. I think when we were there was some pickle flavor. Were the pickle flavor crisps or Doritos? Oh, mustard flavor. Was it crisps or Doritos? Yeah.
Doritos.
Yeah. So there's mustard flavor Doritos. Blow your hair right out the root. Very recommend.
That's 3 now 2.
Dear husband had 3 hairs, now has 2. Latro says hello everyone. Hey Latro. Saying in Bal is a fun listen. I know, in small, manageable, bite-sized doses. Do not recommend longer. Rob says, what kind of chicken shop? Like fried chicken, or like here's your life dinner, or was it welcome your new pet, guys? And then he's still chatting to himself. Oh, eating chips. Okay, fried chicken. Or maybe all of the above, depending. Yeah, there were no live chickens there, but it was one of those chicken shops where the logo, where the mascot is a happy looking chicken. And I'm thinking, how happy is this chicken going to be, considering, from where it's standing, it can see the ovens. Nilda says, hi, beautiful blessing. Hi, Nilda. Sorry, I mixed your name around. Saying beautiful blessings, everyone. Hi. Mort says, I love the owl behind you. Which one? We have many. It's this owl that really belongs on the wall. There's this owl that I think is a horse implement. And I want to hang that on the wall, but want to is, very different to doing. There's these owls. This little guy is new here. We got him just about a month ago. Got this owl that has a baby inside. And that is the tip of the iceberg. These owls, I made them. Tip of the iceberg. I don't want to move the camera too much, but the whole house is full of them on little shelves and on the walls. We like owls. Owls are linked to Athena, which is one of my main goddesses. And owl is also the mascot of my husband's favorite football team, soccer, to those of you stateside. So owls was kind of the first sign that Athena gave to me to say this is the guy for you. Mark says mustard flavored English. If so, pass them here. Even horseradish. Love, love, love them both. It did taste like English and or French mustard. It wasn't like a sweetie mustard. It was really good. I only had the one. I left the rest of the bag to him. What was I was having pretzels. I had a lot of pretzels. There's good pretzels over there. There's no good pretzels over here. But yeah, it was really interesting. You'd have loved them. We've got a message from, sorry, I'm a little stuck here. Oh, from Latro, sharing a chicken. Very cute. Rob says, ha ha ha, chatting to myself. Yes, I've been in one room all day. Someone talk to me. I need interactions. I think I haven't been messaging people all day. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's, hearing a voice is very, yeah, I really, really get it. Mort says, oh, wow, beautiful. Thank you. Do you like owls as well? What's like your quirky symbol? What would you fill your house with? We've got owls everywhere here. I've got some crystals, but it's probably not as much of a theme as it is in a lot of pagan households. That's about it, isn't it? Yeah, and a lot of candles. But yeah, the owls by far and away take over everything. Rob said, I've been seeing Athena a lot lately. Makes sense. She would show her face when so just injustice going on in the world right now. How true, how true, how true. And not only injustice, she was not like Hecate, who is sort of guide and guardian and crossroads and, for moving, but Athena also has a part to play in the Eleusinian mysteries, and she also sort of travels to the underworld. So it's sort of really looking at the, underbelly of society. Mark says Kaz has loads of stuffed owls. I don't know why, but she has. We don't have a lot of stuffed ones. I think when the kids were collecting like little beanie babies, we had a couple, but didn't really keep them. And I think we've got one like doorstop, like a really heavy stuffed owl. Anyway, I wanted to share a little tarot topic with you. So I'm going to have a little sip and we'll talk about it. Incidentally, the sorry, I got stuck a little bit. Let's just go to the topic. I want to talk about good news and bad news. Good news or bad news, good readings and bad readings, good cards and bad cards. I had just finished doing a reading for a lady whose health is not great at the moment at all. And that lady had the most positive, the most sort of enthusiastic, exciting tarot cards. And there was something about how positive her cards were that made me feel like I wanted to dig a little bit deeper. Why? Don't think I'm negative, but I was thinking, well, if we've got such a lot of positive, the negative must be hiding there somewhere. And what showed up was hidden in the sense that I could see straight away that she's a really, really strong person. I said to her, do you have like a really, really horrific childhood? Because that's what makes strong people. And she was like, oh yeah, I can't even describe it to you. So, so that was one. And then I had a little look and I said to her, I can see a lot of love. It's showing up a lot of love, but it's in the past position. And there's some love in the present position, but it's not showing it in the future position. So I'm looking to see whether what I'm missing is not the fact that there is a lot of love that's clearly in the cards, but to see that it's kind of going the wrong way from lots of in the past, a little bit now, to none of in the future. So I was looking at all those really incredible cards. And I think if you let, like, say, AI or some kind of a technological tool do your reading for you, it would say, wow, they're really positive cards. And not that she didn't have a positive reading, she had like a massively positive reading. It was beautiful because her spirit was gorgeous, but she was in a bad way medically and, just hanging by mentally, really good, solid spiritually. And those cards that were really, really positive really sort of necessitated a deeper look in seeing what needs fixing. And in the same kind of way, you could have a reading with some really devastating cards, really awful cards, and they would give you a gorgeous message of renewal and empowerment. So we're going to look at a few really, really good cards, beautiful cards, and see whether they could have a shadowy meaning. And we're going to look at some real stinker cards and see if we can turn them around and find the positive meanings in them. So we'll do, I don't know, like 2, 3 of each. We'll see how the time goes. Let me scroll. I saw a couple of you jumping up and joining us. So Mark says, yay, time for the subject. Thank you. Lucienne says, what are the planets up to at the moment? I'm feeling hellish and things are super tough. Let me tell you, babe. Right now, almost nothing is in retrograde. So almost everything is going exactly the way it should be. The only thing that's in retrograde is Pluto, planet of rebirth, which is my media self using a different name for Pluto, planet of death. So things are in a really dramatic way dying and being reborn. But while that is happening, while all the commotion is happening in a really like evident way, at the same time, everything else like work stuff, love stuff is moving along exactly the way it should be. So it would feel horrific for sure. Change is always rattling, but it's getting you to exactly where you're going. And Rob says, I think, sort of a very, very similar thing. I think we are being forced to grow, Lucienne, if I'm honest, strengthening us against our will. I know, kicking and screaming, dragging you, kicking and screaming into your next iteration. Crystal says, I use weather magic mainly when my husband is mowing the grass and it's a very hot day. I'll ask for the clouds to cover the sun until he's done, or ask for a nice cool breeze. It works every time. Yeah, don't underestimate the power of breeze. Catherine is here. Catherine says hi, joining us from Facebook. Mark says, I'm so sorry she is suffering. I know the feeling in the past, as you know, and to get through takes a lot of guts. Respect that lady, especially if she's keeping happy and going. Very similar to you. Very similar to you. She's not dealing with the same condition, but with very similar symptoms. So the fact that she is keeping positive is like really, really exciting and really inspirational. Lorna is saying yoo-hoo to everyone. She's greeting everyone by name. Great to see you, Lorna Nicole. Let's see if any other messages have come. Lucianne says, thanks, Robert. I'm having so many life trials and betrayal. Yeah. Rob says, sounds like you're getting your camp in order. Pick wisely. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. With the betrayal. Yes. Mort says, I animal collection is bears. Oh, how wonderful. So bears is like maternal, giving, hiding in the cave, keeping things warm, protective. Love, love, love it. Lorna, greeting everyone. Thank you so much. Nelda says, I feel it with my health. Yeah, why don't we all do a little healing for everyone? Everyone watching, just take a moment, feet on the ground if you can. Take a deep breath, align your own energy in and out. In and out. Feel very centered, and then push the feeling of health, positivity, empowerment so that it fills all of your aura. Push it out of every side of you so that your whole aura is pulsating with positivity, with enthusiasm, with glitter. And then push it so that it expands outside of your aura. And then you're sending healing to every person on the planet, to every animal and plant and mineral on the planet. Push the energy out. Each one of us is a small little light, but together we are unstoppable. Loving this with the positivity. Nelda, I hope a little bit of this hit you, reached you. So I work with a soft deck. I want to start by pulling, let's start with one horrific card that almost nobody likes, except for me. Let's start with the Tower. So the Tower card is a card of extreme change, radical discomfort. The Tower card comes when, for example, the contract runs out on your job or on your house, when you have to move house. Obviously, it comes during natural disasters and, international attacks and so on. The Tower card is the falling tower of Babylon from the Bible. A lot of the tarot has links to the good book. And what we see here is a tower collapsing. We see a great beast roasting that tower on fire. We see people jumping from the tower. And we see that kind of dragon here. We see a dove here, and we've got an eye, like an evil eye against the evil eye, glowing. So I'm going to give everybody a few minutes just to try and think, after I describe this, horrific card, which I'll admit I quite like. What do you think could be the positives in this card? I'm going to read a few of the messages, and I see that a few of you are already responding, but maybe not necessarily seeing the positive yet. We'll get there. Mark is delighted. Says your screen hasn't gone purple this time. When it does that, it's actually my laptop. It's sort of not holding up too well. Shian is greeting. Robert says, Candor, lovely. Lorna Nicole is sending you a message. Don't forget to stroke that thumbs up, right? Put a like, put a subscribe. Lucianne says, in the midst of tower, right? So you're not seeing the positive quite yet. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. That's why we're all here together. We're all enjoying this together. We've got, sorry, I kind of lost my place. Rob says to Lucianne, I'm underneath it with it all falling on my head. Yeah, it's true. I feel like being a reader, I should sit this. No, no, don't sit it out. No, no, no. We need input from everyone. This is how we all learn together. Nilda says rebirth, starting over. Exactly. That's your one option here. And Mark says building strength up after a long time of stress or illness. Exactly, because this house that you're being forced out of is a not hypothetical, it's what I'm looking for, it's a symbolic house. And who is to say that this house was good for you at all? Lorna Nicole says, I get restart. All else is now gone, restart. And I love that you're looking to rebuild once once everything is destroyed. So that is exactly it. When you're faced with destruction, the only choice is to go up. Rob was saying the candle was for the light in the meditation. You looked so confused. Yeah, I was so confused. Completely forgot that I used the word light in meditation. Lucienne says a stronger foundation can be built. That's right. You could just move to another tower or rebuild this one, but make sure you build it stronger, build it better. I love that. Very good. And Lauren Nicole says, hi, Robert. And Rob says, okay, my input. The pain of the tower teaches you what you don't want and what you do want, and you pick and choose from the scraps what you will need in your own life, right? So some of those bricks can be used to rebuild the new tower, and some of those bricks can just, go to the charity shop or, go back to their mama and bother them. Roger greeting, Rob greeting, Dal says we move up or get torn down. Yeah, this is a very rude invitation to level up. It's not polite, it's not asking to level up, it is telling you to level up. And Mark says, or one last one from me, this one, you can knock it down and build it from the ground up. Exactly. So I'm actually very, very excited that all of you could see such a lot of positivity in this card. I adore this card because I'm not really afraid of change at all. I love change. I thrive in, high stress situations. So I find this card very fun, very exciting, but I know that it's not everybody's cup of tea. So let's look for another one. This is really sort of one of my least favorite ones. We're looking at the Seven of Swords. It's the Seven of Swords in the Thoth deck. And so we've got a very kind of frozen look with an icy blue background. We've got one big sword in the middle representing the moon. We've got the symbol of the moon there. And we have 6 smaller swords attacking it and kind of breaking it. So this is a card of endings, of possibly people ganging up on you. This is a card for when you have to leave. I have seen this card come up for actual like physical death when people are about to, about to die. You forgot to put syrup in that. Thank you. And this card is so kind of cold and alienating. And let's try and come up with a positive meaning for this card. So I'm going to hold it up to you. I'm going to go through a few of the previous messages. Thank you very much. A few of the previous messages, and then we're going to naturally get to the positive meanings of this one. So we're still a little bit on the tower where Robert says, true, you could be the monster destroying it yourself. The fire could be strengthening the stone into some sort of new metal or something. Very good. I'm loving the sort of new metal idea that, when everything is destroyed, then anything is possible. Anything is possible. Roger says, I was here earlier. I had to go take care of some stuff. I very hope that your stuff is taken care of. Um, Crystal on the tower says, I see the tower as multiple things, but mainly a warning that if you don't change your ways, you will fall from grace. Yes. Although we're trying to sort of go for the positives, but yeah, that is a big warning in the tower. Change is coming. Change is coming one way or another. It's your choice how to take it. Lone Nicole says, I get stand alone and stand strong. Yeah, if it, if you can't support you, then who can support you? Mark says, not being stuck in the situation which seems to be affecting you, so you can move on to new and better situations. Rob says, not to scare everyone, but you predicted a death with this card and was correct. Yeah, not the once, not the once, not the twice. This is my sort of death card. It might not be exactly the same for everybody, but it's certainly been that for me. Marquis Macmillan, Marquis Marquis Macmillan says, "Hey everyone, sorry I'm late." Hi Marquis. Lorna greeting Crystal. Rob, who does like swords cards a lot more than I do, says, quite like this card. Kind of makes me think of Lord of the Rings. I like the icy blue. Could be telling you to keep the people around you limited so you can stay safe. The metal shatters like ice. Yeah, it's all very frozen. But can be reforged even stronger next time. Absolutely. Lorna says that wasn't for the card you have now. Yeah, no, that was for the tower. Geez, fingers aren't working. Fingers are working absolutely fine. Nilda says, as soon as I saw this card, bad vibes. But it's looking into the blue background. You need to step away to move in good, positive direction. That that is your positive. That is your positive because this card doesn't say you can't move. It doesn't say, you're the one that created this disaster. You can move, you can change, you can find the positive direction. So this really shows you that no matter how rank the card is, if you want to find the positive and you can't find it in the card, find it in the context around the card or find it in what the card is leading to, coming from. Lorna says for the sword card, stand alone and stand strong. Beautiful. And Luciane, and I love that from how fire you are, but you're coming in with keep cool under pressure. Yes, that is good advice if things are going nuts. And in a way, the tower is like the exact opposite of that because the tower is so fiery and this one is so icy. But this keep cool under pressure, even if you're going to break, even if all those little swords are going to break the big sword in the middle, um, even if you can do it with style, you can do it with class, you can stay, you can stay cool, you can stay cool under pressure. Kathy says hello. Oh, Dal says, could you please pull me an energy card for today? Thank you. Yeah, let's do that. I think that will cheer things up a little bit. And then, so we did a couple of negative cards and looked for positive meanings. Now we're going to look at a couple of very positive cards and search around for negative meanings. So we'll do that after a few quickie energy cards. So Dal's card for today is everything changes. Everything changes. Don't worry. Anything is only for now. Anything is only for now. So whatever stresses you is going to go away. Whatever delights you is going to go away as well. As we're sort of looking at positive cards and negative cards, we've got this like the top standard, like the primary card of neither positive nor negative. It is what you make of it. This says keep things moving. Don't freeze. Don't allow yourself to get caught in a freeze reaction. Keep things moving, keep things ticking along, and then the changes will happen in that frame of you expecting the positive. And you know what happens when you expect the positive? Because I do, but you do too. When you expect the positive, it is inevitable that that is what will happen. Macmillian says, had to jump on YouTube chain, no buffering. Marquis Macmillan. New fish to card readings. I'm just here to listen and learn. That's what we're all here for. Great. Thank you for joining us, Macmillian. Hopefully you love the channel. Hopefully you pressed some likes and some subscribes, and we all learn together. I'm here every week. Rob says, I love swords cards. You can retrain your brain, and swords are all about thoughts. Cups stress me out as the heart isn't so easily tricked and retrained. I really think this is a line from Frozen. Isn't this a line from Frozen? The line, the heart is not so easily tricked. Crystal sends love to Lorna. But yeah, Rob, for me, I find it very easy to retrain the heart. But the brain, that's the hard one. Lorna welcoming Macmillian. Dal welcoming Macmillian. Macmillian welcoming everyone. Taryn says, hey ma'am, I'm from India. Can I post here you a question? Absolutely. Do send a little question. We're going to do a few, just one card per person. Have a little fun with it, lift the energy, and then we're going to finish the topic towards the end. So please, Taron, I would love to hear from you. And I do hope everybody in your area is safe and well and healthy. Lucianne says a card pull would be great. Yeah, let's do it. Right. This says to you, you're holding back from doing anything too hedonistic, too excited. You're thinking to yourself, well, I don't want to break myself with too much stimulation. It might harm me. Do you know what too much stimulation will do for you at the moment? It would overjoy you. And happiness will have a wonderful effect on you mentally, spiritually, but even also physically. So go nuts a little bit. You've got your limitations. You've got your stuff that you're not supposed to do. You've got your stuff that you don't want to do. Yeah, great. Don't do those. But within those limitations, there are things that you're allowed to do that you like doing, but you're still holding yourself back because of fear. And this is calling on you to break that fear. Go nuts, just a little bit. Go nuts for me. Daldal says, beautiful. That's what you are. Nilda says, can you pull one for me? Going to the doctors tomorrow. Thanks. Sending you lots of blessings for the doctors. Let's have a look. What have we got here for you, Nilda? Right. So the doctor's not going to tell you anything you don't expect. There are some genetic situations going around with the family. And if the doctor says to you, look, you're not sick, but you're a bit borderline, be a little careful with your sugar, be a little careful with the drinks that you drink. Yeah, I don't know if you don't have enough water or if you have too much soda, something like that. If the doctor says be a little careful, then it'll just be that conversation that you always thought you were going to have anyway. You knew about this. You know about this. It's not news. So it'll be all right at the doctor. A little bit depressing because nobody likes being told what to do. But there are no surprises. And you know what you want from a doctor's appointment? No surprises is what you want. There's nothing worse than surprises at the doctors. I wish on you a lifetime of no surprises at the doctors. So this is your card. Let us know how it went. I'm going to be here with Laura on Thursday early morning for you. So let us know how it went. Kathy, welcoming everybody. Chris says, could I please have an energy card for today too, please? And thank you. Absolutely, Chris. Let's have a look. Ooh, this shows new beginnings technologically. Are you getting a new phone, your laptop, something like that, launching on a new platform? This shows new beginnings, and those new beginnings will allow the sun to shine through the clouds. It says that you've got some ideas, some great ideas around marketing. If you've got like a little business or something like that, some great ideas about um, how to get people to understand what you do better, to understand you differently. And this little sun bursting through the clouds is mostly, it's not just for today, it's mostly for the coming week, but it really kind of kickstarts the second half of the year. I know we're not quite the second half of the year, but you know what I mean? We're getting into it. So it kickstarts the whole cycle that begins for you in the summer. Lorna Nicole is welcoming Chris. Kathy is welcoming Chris. And Chris, same question. And then Taryn says, hey, ma'am, how are you doing? I'm from India. Can I post my question? Yeah, absolutely, Taryn. I would love to hear from you. Rob says, sorry, it just escaped. Rob says, is that line from Frozen? It would be funny if it is. I love Frozen. Sure to have things from it stored away in my head. Haha. Yeah, I think it's the like Granddad Troll that when the healer, when they bring Anna to him and she had frozen and he restarts her heart, and the stroke of white hair appears, he erases her mind, doesn't he? And he says, you know, the mind can be fooled, the heart is not quite so easily tricked, something like that. Macmillan says energy cards are full. It's really just little readings. They're just little readings. We're doing little readings, not going too deep, a little bit of fun. So Dal referred to it as energy cards in the beginning because what she wanted was just a bit of it, like an energy check. Yeah, like a little energy, oil check. So we're just sort of thinking of it as energy cards today, but it's not like a hard and fast name for a specific type of card or for a specific type of reading. We're just checking the vibe for each person. We've got Lorna Nicole greeting, Kathy greeting, Dal. Taryn says, it's about my special person's current feeling. She's going to contact me soon or wait a bit more. Let's have a look. Is she going to contact you soon or wait a bit more? She's going to contact you soon. In fact, the card that came up for the contact is a 1 card. It's an ace. So it could even be in 1 hour. I would say maximum 1 day. Keep the vibes going, but you don't need to make contact. There is going to be communication coming in from her, and you can just wait. Just wait. Make yourself a cup of tea. What time is it in India now? Is it? Oh, it's very late night, isn't it? Is it like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., something like that? Let us know, and let us know what part of India you're from. Such a dream for me to visit. Rob says, oh my God, I was going to ask you to pull the 6 of Cups for the negative in what looks like a positive card. So funny you pulled it there. I'm taking it as a message for myself. Absolutely. The 6 of Cups is a hugely complicated card in the Rider-Waite-Smith. A little bit less complicated in the Thoth for many reasons. Honestly, I don't want to get into it because I'll talk about it until tomorrow. And I'm sure all of you good people have better things to do with yourself. So I'm actually going to come up with some positive cards. Is this positive? This positive? There's such a lot. There's such a lot. It's a topic that I could talk about for 3 months nonstop. But let me just sort of see if there's any more questions. And then I pulled out 2 gorgeous cards for you, and I will implore you to find some negativity in them. Nilda says, got it, gracias, de nada. And let's see what I've got. Mark says, strangely, I love surprises at the doctors. It's better than knowing what they're going to say, which has been for the past 5 years. No, it's true. You were surprised when they said good things to you. Weren't you surprised? Chris says, cool, thank you. Hi, all. See, got lots of greetings. Very, very cute. Rob says, I think I'll watch Frozen 2 tomorrow. I love the second one. I adore the second one. And with the second one, when it was suddenly sort of two frozen cultures, it made me cry because nobody more than me loves like a cross-cultural love story. I love that. I love opposites attract and love against all odds. But it was only sort of going back to the first one, and I was like, wait, all the stuff from the second one, which was clearly like new lore, checked just fine with the first one. How did they do it? How did they do it? Genius. Macmillian says, sweet, I wouldn't mind an energy check. Let's do a little energy check for you, Macmillian. So we've got for you, oh, look, same card, sun bursting out of the clouds. Now, every reading is a little bit different for each person at each different time. So for you, what I've got there is a commitment to knowledge, commitment to facts. If you're getting really strongly into something, read as much as you can. And I don't want to be like that, but read is not the same as watching TikToks about a subject, right? We are clear, right? So if you're getting into this at the moment, read stuff that's written. There's loads of books. Come in my house, there's loads of books. Read, order stuff, download stuff. You can find stuff free. But if it's a different topic, if it's something political, anything like that, read as much as possible. Knowledge is power, information is power. Taryn says it's 3:30 a.m. Goodness me. Thank you for sharing your night with us. And Zach says, hello from Toronto, Canada. Is there any message? Oh, from mom in the cards for me. Grateful. Let's see. Do you know what? She's saying to you, she wishes she was there with you. And I know it's really negative to say that, but she wishes she was there with you. She feels guilty that the last that anyone saw of her, she wasn't glamorous, beautiful, vivacious. She wants to go back there and like erase all the memories that people have of her towards the end that were to her embarrassing. Obviously for you it didn't feel like it was anything embarrassing. To you it felt like that was life. That was that's how things go. But she's still not totally at ease, and she needs to know that you loved and the others loved being there for her and supporting her, and how privileged you felt to be in her environment, to be allowed into her environment when things were difficult for her. So this is really sort of for you before you fall asleep, to send that energy to her and that message to her. Oh, thank you so much, Lorna Nicole, for donating to the show. That is incredibly, incredibly kind and generous of you. We've got, all right. So Terence says he's from Mumbai, right? Big city. And that is there a lot of buildings, a lot of lights. Maybe it's harder to sleep. Kathy says hi to Zach. Mark says falling asleep at 3:30 a.m. yesterday. Taryn, so tired today, but that's summer for me. Yeah, you and me both. You and me both, Mark. That was the same for me. Zach sends love to Lorna Nicole. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Rob says, I cried so much at Frozen 2. I really like the spiritual vibes in it. Very witchy. I cried in the cinema. Like fully snot and everything. Mark says, surprised when they said you're still alive. And you can have between 5 and 40 years. Otherwise, not much surprises me anymore. Sadly, that's the surprises you want to have, especially at the doctors. Got greetings. Got Mark. with a message from a couple of minutes ago saying, right, folks, around 5 minutes to go. Based upon Inbal wants to finish fully. So thanks for this evening. As always, Inbal. Thank you. Remember that Inbal and Laura are back on Thursday at 11:30 a.m. right UK time. Robert is saying goodbye to everybody. And Laura Nicole is going, is needing to go as well. Macmillian says, been getting into my wrestling business, figuring out why my energy seems to make sensitive people hot. That's you're a natural healer, very possibly a natural healer. Some people feel healing in heat, some people feel it in cold, some people feel it in a tingle. So that could be what it was. Lorna, Nicole, and Lucianne are saying their goodbyes. Rob says also negative in the star card. That would be tough. I guess it would be a touch of loneliness, but if you want peace, loneliness is the price. Toss up between peace and happiness. Indeed. You're welcome, says Rob to Lucianne. Pay attention to people, show you who they are, not who they claim to be. Lucianne says blessings. Right. So really, I've only got a couple of minutes left because I've got a client at 11. So I pulled up the Emperor, which is the boss card, feeling in charge, feeling in control, and then the Star, dreams, hopes, and wishes coming true. And I was wanting you to be, to find anything negative in that. So Rob already found a touch of loneliness in this one. And indeed, it's the same kind of frozen, again with the frozen, the same kind of frozen colorways that we have in the cards that are kind of cooler. So if anyone's got some ideas, I know that a few of you are around still. If anyone's got some ideas, how can we find any negativity in those awesome, beautiful, powerful cards? In the meantime, Zach says she was always powerful, beautiful, and loved and cherished. Love and honor you forever, Mom. Thanks for the reading. Mwah. Beautiful. Right. I see we're right through the door with some hate for the Emperor, who also I secretly hate. Maybe not secretly. But Rob says, I hate the Emperor. Aggressive, brash, rude. His way or the highway. Hate him. Get out. And Lucianne says, Emperor, lack of flexibility. I love how both of you are saying the same thing. Lucianne is so classy. And Rob is just out there. Daldal says, can be too bossy. Mark says, the boss card, control freak, argumentative. My goodness. Can a guy not get a break? Another negative thing in this one while we're at it. This is father issues. The Emperor is like one of the big daddies, especially of the major arcana. Yeah, Rob said I'm an Aries moon, so I channel my aggression at him. Yeah, I think at least a couple of my children are like Aries moon, Aries rising. God. But yeah, because he's paternal, then father issues can manifest in this guy. So if you have issues with your own dad, look into how come the Emperor can get in the way. Rob says, see my uncle in him. Legit see his face when that card turns over. Shoot, yeah, says Mark, I forgot the father issues, right? That in itself is a father issue, the forgetting. Macmillian, about the feeling heat, natural healer will do more research on that. Right, so I see that nobody struggled. Lucianne says, oh, I'm Aries moon too. So yeah, do you find that aggression is a characteristic for you? Nobody struggled to find some hate for the Emperor, which is great. Can anyone find anything other than loneliness here in the Star? Now, full disclosure, the Star is one of my top favorite cards. I love it so much. Can you see anything negative in it? Ooh, and Nilda is coming in full psychic, saying the orange shows me stabbing. Yeah, he is. He's aggressive. He's not assertive. He is out there. Yeah, energy. Dalda's so positive. She's like, On the other hand, where's your message? On the other hand, he's confident. Rob says, right, go to your appointment. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Inbal. So Mark says, star, my card. Right. Aquarius, stay away from this one. Emperor, control over everyone. The star as being alone. Yeah. Let me share something a little negative about the star. It's a dreamer, right? And we love a dreamer. I've got that with the moon as well. What if it's all in your dream? The star will sit back and be positive. And while the star is being positive, the person that they like could be going for someone else because they haven't made a move. The job that they want could be going for someone else. Oh, there we go. Luciane said in the message before I said that. Oh, brilliant. Luciane and Dal. Amazing. Right. So Luciane says, too dreamy, lack of doing. Exactly what I was thinking. Dal says star can be so hopeful to the point of delusional. Yeah, I kind of like delusion, but I get your point absolutely, because you've got to go with the flow a little bit. And with the star, I mean, there's flow, but not going. Robert says, I wonder if it would show up as blockage with a third eye, depending where it shows. Interesting. Yeah, it could be, although the actual moon in itself does look like the third eye. Yeah, all the ones with the big circles in them. But, in different situations, for sure. Mark says, aloof, confused, and deluded. It must have taken so much strength for you to sort of list anything negative that could be in Aquarius. And Rob says about the third eye, assuming from the color purple. So that actually links to what Dal said about, to the point of delusion. So yeah, I'm very excited with what we did here tonight. Might do that again sometime. But I've got to go to my client. Crystal says, I see the star as also having an eco complex. I'm assuming an ego complex, but yeah, she kind of believes her own hype, doesn't she? So yeah, I'm really excited that we did all this. I'm going to be here with Laura on Thursday and here at the same time with a special guest next Tuesday. So I will look forward to seeing all of you again. I wish you an amazing rest of your day, rest of your night, wherever you are in the world. And thank you for joining me. Have a lovely evening /morning/afternoon.